Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing this look that I have on right now. I kind of refer to it as a pink, brown, orange sunrise, sunset. Something like that maybe. But I'm using my favorite palette, the Modern Renaissance. This is a wonderful palette. It blends so easily. It is so pigmented. It's $42 and you get a lot of colors and you get a brush. The brush fell onto the ground, but it's a good brush. I actually really like the brushes that come in her palettes. And I really chose to do this palette first instead of her new palette that just came out, because I feel like this palette, sometimes you can look at it and you can think, no, there's no way I'm not using pinks and oranges and red eyeshadows. Like, that'll look crazy. But I wanted to show you that, yes, you can use those colors and you can look normal. You don't look like it's Halloween walking around. Like today in my look, I used the pink, the orange, and then my favorite, the dark brown. And I hope I don't look too freaky. I mean, I guess to each their own, right? I might to someone. That's okay. So anyhow, if you want to see how I got this look using this fabulous palette, then keep watching. Bye. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I always start before I do my eyes, and I like to do my eyes first. That way, if I have fallout from the shadows, it's not gonna mess up everything I did on my face. So right now, I just have on a tiny bit of mascara, really, and then my eyebrows kind of done. I'm trying to pull this mirror way up here. Okay, so I am using the MAC Painterly. It's in Painterly. It's the Pro Longwear Paint Pot. I love this for primer. It just helps my shadow stay on. It helps it to not crease. Yeah. It's just really, it's good. And this is the perfect color for my skin. It matches really, really well. So I really recommend this one. There's not really much more I can say about it with that. Okay, so that's blended all in pretty well. Okay. Okie dokie. Moving on. So in my Renaissance palette, the color that I like to set this primer with, it is out right here. But the Soft Glam palette, it has that same color. So I'm just going to steal a little from there. So you can use any kind of matte, nude, vanilla color. You can also just use like powder, just your pressed powder, but I just like to use eyeshadow just because I just like the results that I get. So I'm just putting that to set all of the primer. Because I feel like if you don't set your primer, that it can just kind of, because this stuff's pretty thick, that it can catch and you just won't, it'll catch the shadow and it can just look patchy and just not, I just don't like the result. That's it. That's what I do. We all have our little methods. All right. Then I'm going to start in doing my transition shade, which I love to use Golden Ochre, which is this one right here. This is just a very nice shade, not too dark. And I'm using a Sigma E40, which is just a very nice fluffy brush. When you're doing this transition shade, you want to use a fluffy brush because you're just kind of getting a little bit of color in your crease and you're just like just kind of like you're layering, getting ready for darker colors. And for me, it kind of helps to define my crease a little bit since I don't have that like definition. And then I'm just gonna go to the other side Same thing, and as I'm applying, I just kind of do little circular motions so that it's blending, so there's no harsh line. It's all about no harsh line. You don't want to take this color really, you take this color higher than you're going to take the other colors, but you still don't want it like up to your eyebrow. All right, so that looks nice. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to use the same brush for all of these colors. So that makes it easier. This is one of my favorite brushes. This is the BH Cosmetics. It's a number 6. These are super affordable. You can get a whole set for like $18, $15 of brushes. But this is just, it's a more dense brush, so it's good for applying darker colors. So I am going to go into Realgar. I think that's how you say it. It's this pretty orange color. Dang. Sorry, I just dropped the brush. So I like to hold the brush way far back, okay? And you just barely are applying any shadow. It's hard to see or to tell like when you're watching on, you know, but I'm not pushing very hard. That way I'm not getting any kind of like patchy deposit of color. So I just kind of keep applying until I get the color that I want. And I like to go outer to all the way into my inner, and I'm going in my crease, but then I'm going a little bit above the crease, like so. Just like that. This is such a great orange. I love it. And then I'm going to go to the other side, kind of place it on the corner, and then just kind of go in. And you know, it's just all about having patience and practicing and blending, blending, blending. It's a lot, it can be a long process if you're trying to use a lot of different colors. And then you just try to get everything even, you know, like the eyes even with each other. Forgot my color switch, my little color switch thing that I put my brushes in. That's okay because, okay, so these look like they're pretty even. All right, so now, excuse me, I'm gonna go into Red Ochre right here. Or no, actually I'm gonna do Love Letter. This pink right here. It's so beautiful. I know, right? It's like this gorgeous magenta. And it looks so good on. So once again, I'm applying right in the corner, and then I'm gonna lightly kind of get this all over my lid. And I'm keeping this lower than how, you can see that I have the orange up there, so I'm keeping this lower than the orange because I don't want this to cover up the beautiful orange because it's beautiful. But I'm doing like the same motion, except I'm kind of lightly dusting this all over the lid like that. And then right there, same thing, different eye. And just remember to always hold your brush back far so that you don't want it like this, you know? Because I see people do that, Brandy, and that just can, it's just, you don't need to do that, especially with these, that Anastasia, however you say her name. These are so pigmented, you don't need to put a lot of pressure. Just a little bit works wonders. So it looks, I'm just making sure that it looks like I've done it evenly on both eyes. Okay. And then I'm just going to use the same brush, and I'm going to go into my favorite brown, Cypress Umber. And this brown is in the new palette too. Let me make sure that I'm not lying about that. the Soft Glam. It's in there. It's in there. Yeah. But I wanted to use this one because these colors can be kind of like, you know, when you look at them, you can kind of think, pinks and oranges, no thank you. But I'm just wanting to show you how they're not as like wild as you think at all. Like they're very wearable. I mean, this is like my first, or my, well, it was the first Anastasia, AB, whatever. And it's also just my favorite. I love it. You can do so many different looks with it. Okay, so sometimes, now I'm taking the first brush I used for my blending and it has no product on it anymore, or for my transition shade. And I'm just kind of blending this out. Sometimes your eyeshadow, I'll notice, like, it can look like a hot mess, like, when I'm doing it. And sometimes I just have to, like, step away and do the rest of my face and then just come back to it. And so that's what I would recommend. So I have what I want, right? I have the colors that I would like. Now I'm just going to clean up any fallout that I had, which mainly the fallout is from the little bit of mascara that I have on. And I just make sure that I got that this is like all kind of even Steven. Okay, that looks fine. I will come back and finish the eyes. We're gonna do the face now. And for the face, which I forgot my primer. That's all right. I just have a sample of this because I wanted to try it out. But this, what I'm going to be using, it's the MAC Face and Body foundation. And it is like a water base. So it's really watery. And it's really good for summer. It's a very light coverage. So it'd be good if you're going to be somewhere hot, humid. Because it is just very, you'll see as I apply it, it's just like very light. So if you like a really full coverage, you're not gonna like this. I actually mix it, but you can just see, I mean, it just does not have that like creamy consistency at all. But I mainly got the sample and I have so much in the sample that it's gonna last me forever. And this is C, this is C. I know it looks like I'm putting a ton on, but it's really, like I said, light. So this is C1. So I got C1 and I got C2 and I actually like them both a lot. And then I'm going to take a little, to thicken up the coverage a little bit, I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And I am in 4. And I'm just going to do a tiny bit because I don't want this too full coverage, but I don't really care for, if I was like going somewhere super hot, then I would be totally okay with just the MAC Face and Body, but I just want something a little bit more. So, and I'm using a sponge. This is by Flower Beauty. You can get this at Walmart. It's an awesome sponge. Look, it gets like super big. This is the Drew Barrymore's Beauty line, but the sponge is awesome. Love it. So I'm just gonna pat all of this in. Always make sure you go down your neck. This chair, you can hear it like squeak, squeak, squeak. Sorry, I gotta figure that out. Okay. Make sure when you do your foundation that you go to like your ear because you don't want to have it cut off 2 different colors. This is a really good color for me. It actually is pretty spot on. Okay, that looks like it's blended. And you can see that you can still see all my freckles. So if you like a light coverage, then those both. And the Giorgio Armani is not a super heavy cover. It's buildable, but it's not a heavy coverage. Okay, then I'm gonna do my concealer and I'm just doing a tiny bit, like right where I have a little purple. And I'm using the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in light one, Chantilly. So this is like a cream. So this is not, it's light coverage. I think it's light coverage. It's not like Tarte Shape Tape. So I like to use this just when I'm just literally like wanting to just kind of like brighten an area, not like full on hardcore concealer. So this is a good one. I'll just go down my nose a little bit and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think that's plenty. And then I'm just gonna use this sponge, and the sponge is kind of tricky because it's so big. So if you just take your fingers and then you kind of point to make like a little point, and then you can just go in. I find that this concealer definitely blends better. I've tried it with a brush and I've tried it with just my finger, and I like the results the best using a sponge, a damp sponge. Just like that. Gosh, can you hear my dog barking? She heard something. Okay. Now I want to set that. I'm going to set the under eye part only with the La Mercier loose setting powder. And I am going to use just a brush. This is a Real Techniques. It says it's the contour brush, but I like to use it just for powder under the eyes. So I'm just dipping it in and then just applying a little bit. Because this stuff will crease, at least on me. I will have major creasing. So okay. And then I am going to set the rest of my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in Fair. So this is the lightest color. This is hands down my favorite setting powder. And I'm using a Morphe E2 brush, so it's more of a dense brush. And when I apply my powder, I don't do this. I pack it. That way it just is setting and kind of pressing in the foundation. And I just do this all over. This just gives you like, it doesn't look powdery at all. I just love it so much. So if you're looking for a good powder, get this one. She doesn't have a whole lot of shades. This is obviously the lightest. It makes me look, I mean, I look really, that's what bronzer's for. So for bronzer, I am going to be using, and this is a drugstore, this is by No. 7. Nice packaging. I got this at Target. It's just a beautiful, this is in Golden Sand. It's a great color. So I'm first going to contour. I'm not a big contour. All I like to contour really is just like here and here to kind of define that area. So I'm just using, this is a Morphe M530. So I just basically, you kind of look at your ear and then you go to about right here. You don't want to go down here because it can start to look really kind of dirty, murky looking. So all I'm going to do is that. I hear my... Oh my gosh, my dog is ringing her bell. She needs to go out to the bathroom. I'm going to have to go let her out. Oh, I know why. I can hear the neighbor's dogs. I have to let her out. She's 1.5 years and I don't want an accident. Okay, so that's it. So you can see it kind of defines. I'm going to go let the dog out and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. And I'm winded. Okay, so I just got done contouring. And then with the same bronzer, I'm going to use, this is a Sonia Kashuk number 115. I love this for my bronzer. I think that I do not think that they changed her brushes. She came out with new brushes. But this is a really good one. Lately, I've been applying my bronzer with these kind of brushes. Because I just feel like they're like more forgiving. And it doesn't do like a really deep deposit of the color anywhere. It's just kind of like easier to work with, I guess. I love this bronzer. This is like such a good, I mean, it's definitely, it's more expensive for like a drugstore bronzer, I feel like. Maybe it was $13 or $15, but it's really good. It's like a good color for me. And they had quite a few shades, I believe. All right, so I've given myself some color. That's always good. Okay. Now I'm going to do blush. For blush, I'm going to do Hourglass Ambient Lighting in Brilliant Nude. This color is so, love it. So you see how there's like the shimmery and then you see the blush color. So the way you apply these is you have to swirl it around. So you pick up both colors. So you swirl it, hit it off, and then you just kind of, that way you get all the color. And this is just like it says, it's a pretty nude, but it has some shimmer in it. This is just like a very universal color that you could wear with any look. These blushes are so pretty. I only have 2, but I would love to get more. They have like a really beautiful coral one that I really want. I also have Mood Exposure, which is like a really pretty kind of mauve color. Okay, done with that. Now for highlight. Sorry, I can't. My allergies are so bad. It's like I can't kick it. I'm using this Wet n Wild 2 Reflect Shimmer palette. It's a cute animal print, leopard print, whatever. But the reason I love this is it is just a gorgeous golden. You see that? How pretty. And this thing is so inexpensive. You can never underestimate Wet n Wild. And I'm using an Anastasia. You know who I'm talking about. I love her highlight. This is the, I don't know what it is. It's rubbed off, but she only has one. It's a highlight brush and it's so good. I love it. So I'm just kind of getting my glow on. Okay, I think that's good there. And let's see, now I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do my eyebrows. Eyebrows are so boring and I don't do a whole lot to my eyebrows. But what I use is the same thing, Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer, and I use it in the caramel color. So all I usually do is just kind of brush them up, which they already have some product in them already. They're really light, so usually like, and don't mind, like they're real, I've got a situation going on, but I don't really care. Like I've been so, in this lighting, I can see like how bad I need to like take care of things. But I don't know, I just don't really care that much. It's fine, right? So I'm just gonna color. I love this one because it's kind of angled. I don't know if you can see. So since I already have color, I'm just kind of filling it in a little bit at the bottom. I mean, honestly, I think it looks fine. As long as they look even, then we're just gonna like call it good. I mean, they look whatever. I mean, they're never really totally even because they just aren't. That is okay. Right? Okay, I'm gonna finish my eyes. I'm almost done here. I'm almost done. Okay, for my eyes, I love using these 2 brushes as a little team. This is the Morphe E18. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back. Okay, everything's starting to die. Everything's starting to unravel and come apart. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try this again to finish this up. So I'm going into this Real Guard, the orange, right there. And I'm just gonna kind of meet the corners where they meet right there. And same thing here. They're gonna meet up like that. And then I'm gonna go into Love Letter, the pink. I have to just make sure that it's still recording. And then a little bit of the Cypress Umber. More on the, I was gonna say more on the outer corners, but no, all the way over. Okay, and then what you do is you take this next brush, the Morphe E17, so it's not as dense, and I like to use that to smoke it out. Just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna take my pencil brush, which is a Sigma E30, and I'm gonna dip into Primavera, which is this gorgeous shimmery color, and I'm gonna dot this into my inner corner, like that. And like that. Yep. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sometimes things just don't go right. And then I'm going to take Vermeer, which is the lighter shimmery shade right there. Foiled, whatever. And I'm just going to dust this a little bit like right under the eyebrow. Like that. To give it just a little bit of a, you know, don't be judging my eyebrows. In this lighting, I can really see that there's a situation. Okay, but you know what? That's why we don't normally, well, I don't normally get ready and under like bright lights like this. Okay, okay. I'm going to do my mascara really quick off camera, and then I'll be right back. I did a little more mascara, and I just used the it's the Lancome Monsieur Big. It's very good. I love it. Next, and I'm just about done, is lipstick, and I'm using Dose of Colors. It's like my favorite liquid lipstick in the color Brick. I wanted to do something kind of in the same like okay. Yeah, so lipstick is not always that easy, so my lips kept kind of getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but that's okay because this is a really pretty color and I'm just gonna have bigger lips for today. Yeah. So the final thing that I always like to do is use some kind of a setting spray. Whoa. And I love this Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. You can get this at Target. It's really great if you have dry skin. So it feels so good. It's like, it's nice and cool when you apply it. Oh, I love it. Okay, this is the final look. Using the Modern Renaissance palette. So do yourself a favor, go out and get it because it is gorgeous. Like I will be repurchasing this again whenever I use it, you know, whenever I use up this bad boy. So I hope this helped. I might do a different look again, just using more of the, like the oranges and browns and not the pinks and the, well, not the oranges. I meant more like browns, the browns, like there's a taupe and just a different look. I'll just leave it at that, a different look. Well, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye.